With the introduction of new rules and the overall evolution of the professional rugby league star, we have been given ridiculous statistical performances recently. Some honourable mentions like Sifa Talakai's record-breaking first-half performance or the tear of Tom Trbojevic throughout 2021 inspired me to make this list, and what better way to recognise statistical marvels than by utilising NRL SuperCoach, the ultimate indicator of statistical success. One thing you may notice here is the high concentration of players from the 2020 and 2021 season, where we saw rule changes like the 6 again rule drastically open and speed up play. Okay, let's get into the video. In the 10th spot, it's Ryan Papenhuyzen from the 2022 season with 193 SuperCoach points. With the only 2022 entry on this list, it's Ryan Papenhuyzen's round 4 performance against the Bulldogs. In what was an outstanding attacking display by Papenhuyzen, who would rack up 28 points on his own, more than the Bulldogs had scored all season up until that point. With 6 conversions and 4 tries, Ryan Papenhuyzen would become the second highest point scorer in the club's history in a single game. His 193 SuperCoach point performance is 8 points higher than the second highest point tally, which was accumulated by Nico Hines in round 9 of the 2022 season. With the fact that the game has slightly slowed in 2022 than the last 2 previous seasons, Pappy's 193 points may be considered one of the more excellent performances on this list. At number 9, it's Tom Trbojevic from the 2018 season with 194 SuperCoach points. With the oldest entry on this list is Tom Trebojevic's round 23 performance against the Gold Coast Titans. It was the Trbojevic brothers' show, as both Jake and Tom combined for 5 tries, with Tom scoring a hat-trick. Tom would total 207 run meters and 4 line breaks in a game he dominated in. Many might argue this is the most impressive performance on this list, with the sport significantly slower with less chance for point creation. Its amazing Turbo totaled 194 points, 14 more than the second highest score in 2018, which was James Tedesco's 180. At number 8, it's again Ryan Papenhuyzen from the 2021 season with 197 points. Pappy is back on this list for his round 4 masterclass over the Brisbane Broncos in 2021. By the end of the first half, Papenhuyzen had amounted for all 24 of the Storm's points, as the Storm led going into the break. This was the most points scored in a first half since 1980 by one player, and can only be described as one of the greatest individual halves of all time. Papenhuyzen would tack on 298 run meters, 2 line breaks, and another conversion by the full-time siren, as he outscored the Broncos 26-6 on his own. At the 7th spot, it's Reuben Garrick from the 2021 season with 199 SuperCoach points. The only winger on this list is the Manly points machine Reuben Garrick. In an individual 28-point effort, Garrick would have a hat-trick of tries and 8 conversions. He would outscore Para 28-10 just on his own excellent play. Garrick in this game would surpass Matthew Ridge's Manly's record of 257 points in a single season, leading the game with 5 line breaks, scoring tries at will, and converting them with ease. It was a perfect winger performance by Garrick, which will be hard to replicate for wingers in the future. At number 6, it's James Tedesco from the 2020 season with 199 SuperCoach points. 2020 was Teddy's year, and it's safe to say he had showed it with this display. This was the most well-rounded display up until this point on this list. Tedesco would score 3 tries, have 2 try assists, 5 line break assists and 10 tackle breaks, an absolutely freakish performance by the Dally M and Premiership winner. Tedesco, like many others on this list, would outscore his opponent 12-6, with this the highest SuperCoach performance of his career and the second highest of anyone in 2020, only behind our 5th position. In that 5th position spot is Cody Walker from the 2020 season with 203 points. The only 5'8" on this list, it's the dynamic Cody Walker. In what was an absolute rout of their crosstown rivals, the Sydney Roosters, Walker would chip in with 2 tries, 2 try assists, 3 line break assists and 7 tackle breaks. Not necessarily known as a big SuperCoach point scorer, this would be his career high in SuperCoach points, 53 more than his second highest score. His 167 run meters would also be a career high in what was a perfect game for the New South Wales Blues representative. At number 4, it's Tom Trbojevic from the 2021 season with 208 SuperCoach points. Turbo has once again appeared on this list, with this his first entry for his incredible 2021 season. Arguably one of the greatest single stretches ever seen in the NRL, his absolute demolition of the Titans was one to behold. With 3 tries within 60 minutes, 3 try assists, 3 line break assists, 2 line breaks of his own, 6 tackle breaks and 174 run meters, Turbo had an absolute blinder. Tom was the key reason the Seagulls would win 56-24 in that game, with this only just the start of some outstanding displays throughout 2021. At the number 3 spot, it's Nathan Cleary for his 2021 performance with 225 points. For the third time on this list, it's the Gold Coast Titans on the receiving end of another monumental display. Considering how influential and dominant Cleary has been, you may have expected him to be on this list a bit more. His one entry here was pretty special though, as he amassed 3 tries on his own, 2 try assists, 3 line breaks, 9 tackle breaks, which is insane for a halfback, and 173 run meters. On top of that, he went for a perfect 8 for 8 goal kicking, with his own individual points tally totaling to 28, 16 more than the Titans would score all game. This was just one of Cleary's many high-scoring Supercoach performances over the years. And in the number 2 and 1 spot, it's Tom Trbojevic from the 2021 season with 226 points and 229 Supercoach points. For this final entry, it's Tom again for his 3rd and 4th appearances on this list, with Turbo undoubtedly the king of Supercoach with yet again 2 of the greatest performances in Supercoach history. Tom's round 20 performance was immense with 226 Supercoach points in just 67 minutes of action. Tom had 3 tries, 3 line breaks, 4 line break assists, 3 try assists, and a whopping 15 tackle breaks, the second most of Trebojevic's career. He would follow this display up with a 229 point performance only 5 rounds later, as he again scored a hat-trick, finishing off one of the greatest full-field tries ever. His 6 line breaks, 2 try assists and 19 tackle breaks were the most of his career, which just put a cherry on top to cap off Turbo's Dally M winning season. Okay, so that concludes this NRL list on the top 10 Supercoach performances. If you have any suggestions for future videos, leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well if you're enjoying the content, and as always, thank you guys for watching.